Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something I think we've all felt, but maybe don't always talk about. That feeling when you're putting in the work, you're trying your best, but it feels like nobody even sees it.
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever poured everything you have into something, a project, a sport, anything, and then crickets? Just silence? It's more than just frustrating, isn't it? It hits on this core human need we all have to be seen, to be acknowledged. And when that's missing, it can seriously mess with our motivation to even keep trying.
All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to start by putting a name to this whole thing. Let's call it the invisibility problem.
So what is it really? Well, at its core, a lack of recognition is that sinking feeling you get when all your hard work just seems to disappear. And look, this isn't about needing a gold star for everything you do. It's much deeper. It's when that lack of notice starts to chip away at how you see yourself, making you wonder, why even bother?
Now here's where it gets really important. This feeling is a huge deal for young people. I mean, when you're an adolescent, you're literally in the middle of building your own identity. So getting feedback from the outside world, it's like looking in a mirror. It helps you see who you are and what you're capable of. That validation isn't just a nice to have, it's a huge part of their development. When it's not there, the silence can be deafening.
So, that begs the question, right? Why does this happen so often? Why does so much effort go completely unseen? Well, let's jump into our next section and break down some of the root causes. Okay, first up, let's talk about the big picture stuff. Institutional factors. Sometimes the system itself is just broken. Think about it. Maybe there's obvious favoritism, or the rules for getting an award are super vague. Or, and this is a big one, maybe there's just this intense focus on grades and nothing else seems to matter. If the system doesn't have ways to celebrate all kinds of different talents, it's no surprise that people start to feel invisible.
But it's not always about the outside world, is it? Sometimes the biggest hurdles are actually inside our own heads. If you have low self-esteem, you might look at your own work and just think, nah, that's not good enough. Or maybe you're a perfectionist, and anything less than perfect feels like a total failure. And then there's that constant feeling of being overshadowed by others, which can just make you want to give up altogether.
And finally, our environment. The people around us plays a massive role. You know, if your friends never cheer you on, or your parents only seem to light up when they see a report card, that's tough. Add in a super competitive culture that basically says there can only be one winner, and suddenly, putting in effort feels kind of pointless unless you're number one. And if you think this is just a small problem, get this. A 2022 APA study found that 61%, a whopping 61% of adolescents feel demotivated when their efforts outside of academics go completely unnoticed. That's almost 2 out of every 3 kids feeling like the things they're truly passionate about just don't count.
So, okay, this is a widespread feeling, and it has real consequences. That brings us to our next section, the warning signs. How can you actually spot this kind of demotivation either in yourself or in someone you care about? You know, the signs can be kind of subtle at first, but they're definitely there if you know what to look for. It might be someone quitting a club they used to love, or you just notice the spark is gone, their usual enthusiasm just isn't there. Maybe they start saying things like, whatever, no one notices anyway. These aren't just bad moods, they can be real red flags. And if this goes on for too long, the consequences can get pretty serious. We're not just talking about someone losing interest in a hobby. We're talking about a slow but steady drop in motivation across the board, a weaker belief in your own abilities, that feeling that you can do things. This can lead to more stress, more anxiety, and it can stop crucial skills like leadership and teamwork from ever really developing.
Whew, okay, I know that was all a bit heavy. But here is the really good news. This is not a permanent state of being. This is solvable. So let's shift gears and open up what we're calling the motivation toolkit. Seriously, this isn't some fixed fact of life. There are real, practical things that we can all do, students, teachers, parents, to create a world where effort is actually seen and valued.
All right, if you're a student, listen up. This is all about taking back control. It's about building your own validation system. You could start a journal of your wins, no matter how small they seem. Compete with yourself. Try to beat your own last score. Don't just wait for feedback. Go ask for it from a teacher or coach you trust. And this is the big one. Try to find joy in the process itself, not just in the applause you might get at the end.
Now, for teachers and schools, the mission is to build a better system, one that celebrates more than just the final grade. This could mean creating awards for effort and improvement. Simple things, like having a corner of the classroom to show off different student projects, or letting students nominate each other for being a great teammate. That stuff can totally change the culture. And of course,
Giving regular helpful feedback is just non-negotiable. And parents, your role here is absolutely crucial. Instead of just saying a generic, "good job," try being specific about the effort. Say something like, "I was so impressed by how you didn't give up on that tough math problem." Just showing up to their games or performances, that speaks volumes. And please, try to avoid comparing them to their siblings or friends. Let them explore their passions, even if they have nothing to do with school. That's where they might just find their spark.
At the end of the day, all of these strategies are about one thing: a massive mindset shift. It's about moving away from a motivation that's fragile because it depends on other people, and toward a motivation that's strong and resilient because it comes from within you. When you do that, setbacks stop feeling like failures and start looking like chances to learn and grow.
So, let's wrap this all up. What are we really talking about here? This is so much bigger than just trying to make people feel good. It's about deliberately, intentionally, building a culture of value.
And I really want to leave you with this powerful thought right here. Recognition isn't some extra bonus you get if you're lucky. It's a psychological necessity. It's the fuel that powers our motivation and allows us to grow.
So when we create these environments, whether it's at school, at home, or just in our friend groups, where we actively appreciate effort, we're not just handing out compliments. We are building the essential ingredients for a successful life: confidence, resilience, and true emotional maturity.
So I'll end this explainer with a question for you personally. As you go about your day, think about the people you'll interact with and ask yourself, whose effort will you choose to make visible today?